Look, I wish him well. You understand. We had a good relationship, and I just wish him well. Very well, actually.
I am not the evil, I just misunderstood. And some of the anti-Italian hatred in this courtroom is disgusting.
It's a small house. I'm petitioning to change the street name to Memes. Friends might come and stay in there, like, they can't believe I'm staying in this house. If I'm there by myself, yeah, it's fine. Or just with little X or something. It was right next to the rocket factory.
Forget the $50,000 tiny house. Elon Musk isn't downsizing. He's disguising. Because behind that so-called prefab cabin is a $69 billion empire powered by private satellites, underground bunkers, and a backup planet. You think that's wild? It gets darker. This man memes a dog coin into the top 10 currencies.
And we're gonna take Doge to Mars. How awesome!
He fires half of Twitter and calls it freedom.
In a couple of ways, and I want to admit that.
Failure comes with a big penalty. You're fired.
He jokes, and markets collapse. He tweets, and wars recalibrate. And now, he's going head-to-head with Donald Trump. That's right, the man who once called Musk a genius, now reportedly fears the influence he can't control. Why? Because when Starlink flickered off during a military op in Ukraine, it wasn't a glitch. It was a message. When one man can turn off the internet to a nation in seconds, what do you call that? Power? Or something more dangerous?
Well, if I see a reason to do political spending in the future, I will do it.
In the next few minutes, you'll see how Musk turned rock bottom into liftoff, how he worked 120 hours a week.
I go to sleep, I wake up, I work, go to sleep, wake up, work, do that 7 days a week. My workload went up from about, 70 to 8 hours a week to probably 120, yeah.
Sold all his homes and risked everything when everyone told him to stop. You'll want to take notes. And while the media was busy reporting Musk's memes, he was quietly building doomsday strongholds in Nevada and New Zealand. Solar-powered, AI-defended, stocked with months of elite-only survival supplies, and the craziest part? They're not on the map. They're not even in public records. And some say they're not just for him. They're invitations for billionaires, a golden escape pass. But escape from what? Keep watching. Meanwhile, the Tesla robots? They're no longer clunky prototypes.
So we just showed several of our Tesla Optimus robots.
Insiders say they now walk, learn, remember faces, and may soon replace entire workforces.
Our robots did the Trump dance, which I think was pretty cool.
And maybe even humans themselves. Think that's science fiction? Neuralink is working on streaming memories, not downloading, streaming. Think of what that means. Your thoughts, searchable. Your memories, stored. Your mind, maybe not even yours anymore. And what happened during Neuralink's unauthorized tests? That's the part no one's talking about, yet. And all of this is just the opening act. Because behind the chaos, the tweets, the memes, there's a man who was nearly erased before he ever made it. A man who slept on floors, coded in basements, ate hot dogs to survive. A man who built PayPal, got kicked out, built Tesla, nearly went bankrupt, launched rockets, and watched 3 of them fail in a row, but still came back. And what happened next? That's the part that changed everything. Stay with this, because this isn't just about Elon Musk. It's about what happens when you stop asking for permission and start building your own reality. So, how did he go from rejected to revered? Well, let's rewind. Elon Musk was born in South Africa, 1971. Quiet, awkward, obsessed with books. He didn't fit in, didn't fight back. He got beaten so badly once, he was hospitalized. His dad called him a failure. So what did he do? He disappeared into pages, 10 hours a day. Science fiction, physics, biographies, anything to escape. That's where the dream started. Not of cars or rockets, but of freedom. At 17, he fled the country, alone. One suitcase, a cousin's couch, no money. He worked in sawmills, cleaned boilers, then taught himself to code on public computers.
That was the summer of '95. I had no money whatsoever, so we got this dinky little office that had a leaky roof. So we were able to get really cheap internet access by drilling a hole in the floor and connecting to their server directly.
By 24, he built Zip2. By 27, he co-founded what would become PayPal.
This is an ATM. What we're going to do is transform the traditional banking.
Then, they kicked him out while he was on honeymoon. But Elon doesn't cry. He reinvested everything into 3 companies at once: Tesla, SpaceX, SolarCity, and by 2008, he was broke. Tesla was about to fold. SpaceX had failed 3 launches in a row. Investors laughed, friends backed off. Even his closest advisors told him to let go. But he didn't. He scraped together funds for one last rocket. One more try, and it worked. SpaceX succeeded. NASA signed a deal, Tesla survived. One man gambled everything and won. But even now, with billions in the bank, he doesn't stop. He sleeps in factories, works 16-hour days, reads books while rockets launch. Why? Because for Elon, comfort is the enemy. He doesn't seek applause. He doesn't want followers. He wants momentum. To make humanity multiplanetary, to build tools that outlast nations, to engineer a future where we're not controlled, but free. But here's what they don't understand about Elon Musk. He's not just building companies, he's building contingency plans for civilization. Ask him what he fears most. It's not bankruptcy, it's extinction, climate collapse, rogue AI, nuclear war. These aren't sci-fi ideas to him. They're probabilities. That's why he builds like there's no time left. Because in his words,
I am become meme.
if something is important enough, you do it, even if the odds are not in your favor. This isn't hustle culture. This is legacy engineering. He once said he doesn't care about money, and you might laugh hearing that from the richest man on earth. But he means it.
We work harder.
He doesn't wear designer suits, doesn't own yachts. He sold almost all his homes. Why? So no one can say he did it for comfort. Because while billionaires were buying islands, Musk was building spaceships for all of us. He's not escaping Earth. He's betting that humanity is worth exporting. But make no mistake, this life comes at a cost. His relationships are turbulent. His partners have called him intense, obsessed. Grimes called life with him post-human. He's had 10 children with 3 women, but he sees parenting not as a feeling, but as an engineering challenge. He built a school, Ad Astra, where his kids learn ethics, physics, AI. No grades, no homework, only problems worth solving. Because for Elon, raising a child is like building a prototype. You don't do it by the book, you do it for the future. He's also obsessed with mortality. He's spoken openly about dying on Mars.
I mean, if you're gonna die somewhere, might as well be Mars.
He doesn't fear death, he fears irrelevance. Because in Musk's mind, the worst failure isn't crashing a rocket, it's never trying to fly. And if you think he's done, look around. The tunnels beneath Las Vegas, Musk. The satellites over Ukraine, Musk. The AI systems analyzing language, vision, behavior, Musk. And here's something almost no one knows. He reads constantly, not just tech, not just science. He reads philosophy. He studies Napoleon. He quotes Marcus Aurelius. Why? Because to build the future, you must understand the past and question the present. He doesn't care what's trending. He cares what will matter 100 years from now. So what's the takeaway for you? You don't need to be a genius. You don't need investors. You don't need a perfect plan. You need obsession. You need to be okay with rejection. You need to build when no one's clapping, to work when no one's watching, and to believe when no one else will. When Elon Musk couldn't afford rent, he sold his home. When Tesla almost died, he mortgaged everything. When the media mocked him, he built anyway. This is the new rule of success. Stop waiting, start building. And when they say, that's impossible, double down. Because the future doesn't belong to the loudest, it belongs to the relentless. So the next time you fail, remember this. The richest man on earth was once a broke immigrant sleeping on a floor, and he never stopped. Not for praise, not for peace, not for permission, but because the world needs the ones who refuse to give up. The world laughed at Elon Musk until his rockets came back down and landed perfectly. It's not magic, it's not luck, it's 5 things. Obsess over the problem, not the fame. Ask better questions than anyone else. Embrace pain, don't avoid it. Move faster than you're comfortable with. Bet everything on what matters most. This is why Musk succeeds where others stall, because most people avoid hard problems. He hunts them down. Most people wait for permission. He builds while they're still talking. Most people fear failure. He risks public humiliation over and over. He once said, failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you're not innovating enough. Let that sink in. He doesn't just tolerate failure, he needs it. Because every failed launch taught him something the textbooks never could. And when you look at your own life, the doubts, the risks, the roadblocks, ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped negotiating with fear? What would happen if you stopped asking, what if it doesn't work? And started asking, what if it does? Because Musk didn't make it because he was certain. He made it because he was relentless. So if you're stuck, if people are laughing at your dream, if you've failed more times than you can count, remember this. The man who built Tesla, SpaceX, and Starlink was once sleeping on a floor, alone, broke, rejected. And he still showed up. Not for attention, not for status, but because he believed the future demanded it. So here's your permission. Stop waiting for a sign. Be obsessed. Be unreasonable. Be willing to fail publicly, because that's how you build rockets that land. That's how you build legacies that last. That's how you build the future. They said Elon Musk was crazy. They said his rockets would crash, his cars would burn, his brain chips would never work. And now, they're buying tickets to his future.
And then just work like hell. I mean, you will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve.